Hi, I'm Tane.
And I'm Aid, and this is Altar Call, a Married at First Sight podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call MAFS. And this episode, we will be talking about the Love is Blind UK reunion. Hi, Aid. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. We got to see each other.
You guys, we did. I came to town. We we got on a boat. It was really fun. Or I had fun. I hope you had fun, Tane.
I did. I was going to say, I was thinking about the shrimp dip. We had some good shrimp dip. So, yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. She made good and came to the DMV. I hope the rest of your trip was good too.
It was so good. I had such a good time. I'm glad I had a good enough time that I was like, oh, I should definitely do like visits like this more often where I come back and I'm not coming for work. I'm just coming to hang out with my friends who I do miss now that I've left the area, but not like, oh, I should move back here.
Well, it's so funny because you've lived here for so long, but you don't miss it like at all, like a little more.
I miss it. So that's, but I'm there like, multiple times during the year. So yeah, I don't really get the opportunity to miss it that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Well, what did you think of the Love is Blind UK first reunion?
It was all very grown up and very sane and not a lot of drama.
Um, I watched it late, but before then, Nana made a comment and was like, Tany's gonna hate this reunion. It is, she's going to say it's a very UK reunion. And she was right. I always criticize UK reunions because I'm used to the American reunions where we dive deep into stuff, we get into the nitty gritty. But the UK reunions, they put everything in a bow. They don't call out people. They don't show receipts like you said that, like all that stuff. So I will say though that I do think the host did a really good job. It's very weird because I feel like they asked all the questions, but I still just didn't feel so satisfied.
Uh, okay. I don't know if I was satisfied or dissatisfied.
That means you weren't satisfied. Because if you were, you'd be like, I was satisfied.
There were certain
But
things that I was like, yes, I'm very happy that we discussed this and this was clarified. Mainly because one thing in particular, I was like, see, I was right. But but there weren't very many of those.
hmm, okay, well, we'll dive in. It's been a year since they filmed, so they are keeping that tradition, which is good because a year is a good enough time to see if the marriage lasted or not. They had this really cool entrance, I thought, of them each cast member walking in, but they're saying all different things with different sayings, and I thought that was pretty cool, the way they do it. But I mean, they don't do any guessing games. They're like all the couples are sitting together except Demi and Sabrina, and that really tells us all we need to know. And the couples sitting together are kind of like sitting close together, except for Tom and Maria. So basically, all the body language tells you where they are, which I appreciate because, like, Mexico, I think they made them, or no, Brazil, they made them have a hammer aid. So you go up there, even the ones who broke up before then, and they tell you, are you together or not? You need to smash it. And then it tells you if it's there. And then for Mexico, they had like this ring of something. You stand in the circle, and if it turns red, you're together. If it's what is with all the fanfare? Just let us read into it with body language. I thought that's the best so far.
I also thought the Cat and Freddy body language was they were another couple sitting together who were clearly not together.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like the couple sat together, but the couples that were not together, they either sat apart or they were snuggled together. So each of them, you could tell where they stood. Is what I mean. So not like
Right.
if you couples stood together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was great. Very obvious. No need to do homework for that. We also have friends and family in the audience. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Look, I'm always happy to see Demi's parents. Just looking at them, especially her dad, just gives me joy. Otherwise, I don't know why those people were there.
Yeah, not all of them got questions. So it's just like, I mean, again, like I said, they didn't skimp on the budget. So there were friends and family there. And they did have some Pod Squad people. We don't have to tell you that Aaron was there because he was like the extra the whole season. But we had Aaron, we had Charlotte, and Natasha. Um, they just dive in, and the hosts start by saying that they're sorry that Sabrina and Steven are sitting apart. And then she made a Craig David joke towards Ollie. And Ollie is like, one more joke like that, and I'm walking away. And I was like, oh, it took me half a second to realize, like, yes, this is a Craig David song, but okay, it hits. And um, what's her name? Emily, the host?
Emma.
Emma. Emma was very extra throughout the whole episode. She was very excited about everything, but she thought that was such a good joke. And she was like, oh, that was good. And I was like, okay, okay. So they get into Demi and Ollie, but they didn't start with them to just kind of mention them. And then Demi says that she was holding on for I do not for now, but Ollie is a good guy, but just not her guy. And that after the wedding, she just wanted to do things that bring her joy, which involved moving back in with her parents. And I'm like, how do her parents feel about that? But they love her so much. I'm sure they don't care.
It wasn't clear to me, though, that she wasn't living with them before.
Um, I don't know. I didn't. When she described her life of hanging out with a lot of guy friends and her sports and stuff, I don't know why in my mind I just saw her in an apartment. But I don't. You're right. One way or the other, she didn't mention it. I guess.
Overall, I found Demi confusing. Whether she had been living with them before or not living with them before, there was this whole like, I've been on a journey and now I'm going to go back and live with my parents to be around people who love me after and I didn't really get it.
Well, they give her joy, and she hung tight towards them. I guess I don't know, but she said she didn't recognize herself in the honeymoon, and Emma, and that, but now she recognizes herself, and she's back into who she was. And like I said, Emma was very extra. Emma was all yes, and I'm like, okay. Ollie said that they had had a conversation before the ceremony, and they knew that it wasn't their time. And I'm like, why all the what during the whole thing if you already knew? Because I think what we're getting is like a lot of these couples already know ahead of time what they're gonna say, but I don't know. The reactions are still different. I don't know. Real time maybe is different.
Or they make them act out something and edit something so that we have more drama when everybody already knew. So
Yeah,
I, it's really hard to reconcile. We had a conversation where we already knew, but she said no and I had to act surprised.
yeah.
They should edit that stuff out of the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Lie better.
Like, keep it consistent. Demi says that it was a hard watch, but she's at peace. And guess who we finally see in the audience? Ollie's mom. Um, they talk about the birthday card, how that's kind of what swayed Ollie. And Demi, quote unquote, jokes that she wants her birthday card back. I was like, girl, it's a birthday card. It's not like a ring or something. Like, just let it go. They speak about the endometriosis, her being open, and Ollie's reception to it. And she tears up a little bit, and she's like, she's appreciative of it and the acceptance of everyone. They move to Catherine being in the picture, and they play a clip of her, and they ask her if she knew how much Demi liked Ollie. And she said she didn't know how much Demi liked Ollie because she was an open book. Demi kept her cards close to her chest, and Ollie never said anything about it. He says it. Ollie stepped in and was like, "I have to say something." it's been bothering me that online people have been saying that, I wouldn't be attracted to Demi. And respectfully, he has always dated people who look like Demi. And it's not fair for people to start projecting because of what they think the default setting of beauty is. And I'll go into what Catherine said, but I appreciated him jumping in and saying that.
I appreciated him telling me I'm right because that's what I heard. I've been saying, I have been saying, who decided that someone was the beauty standard? And Ollie's like, yes, Aid, you are right.
I mean, isn't it common knowledge that there's different things? But I mean, anyways, I think it's good because um it's just the world, I guess it is, and some people think, oh, what the default setting and everything is. But um Emma jumps in and was like, that's no disrespect to Catherine or anything. And she was like, Catherine, you weren't offended, right? And Catherine says she doesn't think it's disrespectful, but she does feel disrespected when he judged her for where she likes to go. And I'm like, wait, what has that got to do with a default setting and people have dated in the past? And I'm so glad that Demi jumps in to be like, listen, I've been muted the whole time. What I did not appreciate, like, we're talking about two different things, but what I didn't appreciate is you saying that we're not going to work on the outside world. And I'm really so glad that she said that because we talked about that and we were just trying to figure out what the hell do you mean by saying that, because you have not seen Ollie and you don't know anything, you only know Demi. And Catherine said that no, it wasn't that. It was based on Ollie saying he wasn't sure how it was going to go. And Demi was like, she was going saying a lot of things, and Demi was like, just be authentic and accountable and say sorry so we can move on. Kat is like, oh, I apologize if that was said in a really bad way. I'm like, ma'am, she already said she didn't like it. I don't know what you mean by I apologize if it was said in a really bad way. Jasmine had already turned her head to the side, but Jasmine was all like, Catherine was like, Jasmine said, if you didn't have any malintent, why did you say your mouth would get you in trouble? You could have specifically said what you mean. And that's exactly what I had said. And I feel like Kat at this point is insulting her intelligence. Like, if it really was about Ollie what not being sure, why would that get you in trouble? Why wouldn't you just say that? So Jasmine said, you were just saying that it was about, what you were saying was about looks. And Kat was like, no, it absolutely wasn't. And she looked like she was about to burst out in tears, but typical UK reunion, Emma is like, let's move on to the mixer, shall we? That was that.
I, I will say, I'm not even mad at Kat for lying because she could not win that one. And it was better for her if she just told us a lie, but I didn't believe her.
Well, you were kind of on her side in the beginning, where I
I
kind
was
of thought
curious
so.
about what she meant, but when she was asked about it here, she couldn't come up with anything useful.
Because, no, what I was trying to say was like, what you had in the beginning could have been plausible if she said it was about her demeanor. I think that's what you said. I can't, am I
What I
remembering
said
right?
was she could have said I wasn't sure if she meant is it something about their personalities? Clearly it can't be Ollie's looks because she doesn't know what he looks like, but maybe it was something personality based instead of look based. I just think
Yeah.
the way she was called out on it here and like her very unsatisfactory response, I was like, I think you might be lying. You've now been asked and your answer is not ringing true to me.
Yeah. I don't know. It couldn't be anything else. But yeah, she was saved by Emma. And they moved on to Ollie's comment about Charlotte in the mixer, where he said she was really cute. And then they said, are you guys a thing? Or what are you guys? And Ollie starts stuttering and says that they have a connection outside of the experiment. Demi says she loves Charlotte, that she likes Ollie. He's not her guy. And then she turned to Charlotte and was like, is he your guy? And Charlotte gives this vague thing about she couldn't get through the last few weeks without him, without that she watched every single thing. And I'm like, ma'am, you were barely in the season, so what is the thing that he got you through? I don't know if she meant the show or if it was something else, but I was a little confused by that answer.
I was confused by the answer because I was like, I could understand it would be hard to watch the show if you guys are forever. But you are telling me right now that you guys might be, you have a connection. Not that you're boyfriend, girlfriend, not that you're dating, not that you're even together, just that you have a connection. So why would watching him, I guess, be with someone else on TV be so hard unless, yeah, it was a very confusing answer. And I wish I didn't appreciate it.
And then that's when Ollie was like, "Oh yeah, we just have a good connection. Is great." Blah blah. Still, again, a lot of words, still vague. And then they have a cute moment with Demi where they brought her journal and they showed us that she had a picture of her parents and said, "This is the love that she wants and would like to have," and it was really nice. And they gave her her journal back. Oh, and I want to say everyone looked very pretty at the reunion.
They did. I barely remember what anybody was wearing, but they all looked good.
And then we move on to, oh, just a side thing because Jasmine did stand up for her. Didn't get a chance to get to catch up on a lot of the offline gossip, but apparently she and Jasmine are not like friends like that anymore. And I think Jasmine was like it was after the reunion. I'm not sure. I'm not surprised because again, a person who's standing up for you by yelling out that you don't have self confidence. Not sure if you're friends, but I don't know if you caught any of the offline gossip with them.
I did not. So is the
Yeah.
offline gossip that they were friends, but then they weren't friends after the reunion? I'm confused.
Somebody asked Demi a question, like if they were still close or something, and she was like, "We're on a break," something similar to that effect. And Jasmine was like, "It's kind of news to her," and that it happened after the reunion. Also, we don't, I don't know when they shot the reunion. I don't know when a year exactly is for them from the wedding.
Okay.
So, we move on to Sabrina and Steve, which I think to me, I would say is the biggest draw of knowing what happened to them. Like, how did they get from what we saw to here? She said that he did not provide support when she quit her job after what they had agreed on. And basically, they were doing long distance and the communication was really bad.
What do you
Steven
think she
said,
meant by support?
I guess encouraging him. Until you asked me this question, when you asked me, my first thought was financial, but
Exactly.
I think I think what I was thinking was just like I quit my job, I'm trying to start a business. You're supposed to be there for me and just kind of encourage me and be there through the rough times, but you are not there for me. But I'm guessing you think just financial.
I'm sure it could be that. I think I was confused because when she said she wanted to start her own company, I thought it might be in London. So was he supposed to support her like moving to London? I couldn't quite figure that out. But maybe it was just, support while I just being a supportive partner while I start this new venture.
I don't even know because it seemed like he was struggling too. So
Mhm.
I don't know how he would have supported her because he didn't seem to be on good financial terms anyways. So that's sad. Steven says that the long distance was added pressure. They had both left their jobs and basically they had lost their spark. Matt said he thought that when he heard they were not together, that it was either the children thing came up again. But she was like, no, not really, that it wasn't the children thing. And then they asked, how many times did you go to London? She's like 7 times. And they're like, Stephen, how many times did you go to Ireland? He said twice. And he took responsibility really quickly and early on. And she says like the thing is when she was in London, he didn't make any adjustments for her. She did have like facts and good examples and she was very clear. Like when you came, I don't drink tea, I don't drink coffee, but I got you a French press, I got you things, you needed a car, I rented you a car, I got a gym membership so you could go. And I think that sounds pretty fair. Although at some point he said not true. So I don't know what is. And she's saying when she was in his space, he didn't seem to fit her in his life. Which just seems like a completely different person than the person we met. But I mean, I will say, not in his defense, because at all, like, if all, assuming everything she said is true, then he was in the wrong. But men always crumble under pressure. Once they don't have like their finances together and they're not in the headspace, everything just seems to fall apart. So I can totally see him just neglecting their relationship and not doing what he was supposed to do.
Yeah,
Um, she said that they okay. She said he doesn't talk on the phone and he doesn't text, and I'm like, well, how is this supposed to work?
uh,
Because did they email each other? Was it DMs? I don't know, but this sounds like a recipe for disaster. Steven is saying that she's contradicting herself, and actually, he doesn't recognize this person that is at the reunion, and he's not going to say much. There's so much he could have said, but he couldn't. I think that's a reunion pet peeve. If you're not going to say anything, just don't say anything. But don't say I could say so much and I'm being the bigger person. Don't tell us you're the bigger person. Be the bigger person and just let it be.
I think probably he was like they've probably been broken up for a while because they've been broken up since basically what January at the latest because they broke up after the holidays. It sounds like so it's been at least if they shot this reunion probably less than a month ago. Let's say they've been broken up for 7 months. I feel like Sabrina did come in hot, and I could see how he might not have been prepared for that because it's been a few months. They probably haven't been speaking. They probably argued out their relationship at their end of their relationship. So I think coming to the reunion and she's like, I got receipts, I got this, then,
Yeah. So, he said that 2 days, oh, she said 2 days before he was supposed to come to Belfast, he texts her and says, sorry, dear, I can't make it. And she feels like he didn't respect her family. He didn't respect all the work that he was supposed to, they put in, because apparently when he was supposed to come was Christmas and he just canceled. And I'm just like, okay, come on, Steven. 2 days before is kind of late for you to cancel. If it is in fact Christmas, that is a big holiday. That is technically officially your wife. I'm assuming that the UK is also like a real marriage, not like Maps Australia or something where it's not real. But and I'm on her side on that part. Like either way, whatever you're going through, just make it work. He says a lot was happening. She knows what was happening, but despite everything that was happening, you guys had plans to be with each other. So I don't know. I don't think that holds water. For me. They play a clip of their pod journey, and Sabrina says that she finds the pods emotional. Steven said he watched the first 4 episodes 3 times and it was emotional, and that he looked perfect, but he's not perfect. He's not a perfect person, and he just felt like the real life and distance did not help them. And once there's conflict, her walls go up quickly during conflict. And Sabrina says, you're a man of many words, but not a man of your words.
Ooh.
I saw those words before I watched the episode, the episode. And I'm like, oh, there goes your word. And as they were going back and forth, and then Emma just stops them right there and said, we're going to move on to Jasmine and Bobby. So, yeah, that was that for them.
I felt like what happened with Sabrina and Steven is that they were good in person. Like one of the
Yeah,
things I wonder is if they hadn't had to be long distance, maybe this could have worked, but I doubt
yeah,
it. I mean, even when you live in the same house, you need to answer the phone and you need to text. So I don't
yeah,
really know. But yeah, I mean, it was
yeah.
a little bit sad, but I don't know. I knew that they were the golden couple of the season, but I wasn't that attached to them.
I think this is something the UK might face. I mean, although you could say the same for others, but I'm just like that distance thing. That's one thing USA doesn't have to deal with because we know no one's moving. Well, except for the whole Seattle Portland thing, but no one's moving. We're in the same area. But when you add that long distance thing, who's gonna move? Where are you gonna go? But I guess that's part of what you're supposed to discuss in the pods. But like you said, real life on paper, not the same thing. So. We move on to Jasmine and Bobby, and we see someone else that we have not seen before, which is Bobby's mom in the audience. Again, these are people we didn't see during the season, so I'm just like bringing them
Bobby's
to
mom was at
sit.
the wedding.
Was she?
Yeah, she
Oh,
did a sit
because
down with his sister before the wedding.
sorry,
He
I
for
you're
being there
right.
for him.
You're right. I was thinking of the fact that we were saying that we didn't see Bobby and Ollie's family, and then I forgot that we did actually see them. His family showed up at the wedding.
And then, so I forgot to say this in our last episode, but when they did that sit down with him and his mom and his sister, he mentioned how they had been very welcoming of Jasmine. So I was like, whether it was on the phone or
Life doesn't happen bi weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with EarnIn. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the EarnIn app and verify your paycheck, then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Whether it's a special gift for a loved one or needing help early with rent this month, make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join EarnIn's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about EarnIn, I think about financial stability and security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download EarnIn today, spelled EARNIN in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the EarnIn app, type in AltoCall under podcast. When you sign up, it'll really help the show. That's AltoCall under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, location, daily max, and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Amoir makes getting dressed easy. With a clothing rental membership from Amoir, build the perfect wardrobe with brands that are high quality, unique, and recommended just for you. All you have to do is take a 5-minute style quiz and select items from your dynamic, personalized closet. The styles show up at your door in as little as 2 days. Then, when you're ready for new clothes, just swap them out for more new to you styles. I had a birthday party, and it was so nice to have a dress from Amoir, and I didn't have to think about buying something new for the party.
isn't it great that Armoire is also women founded and women led? They even spotlight women owned designers on their website, so you'll know that you're wearing brands that are aligned with your values. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style slash altercallmaths. That's armoire, ARMOIRE .style slash ALTARCALLMAFS to get 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try on more today. Whether it was in person, they have interacted with Jasmine enough for him to thank them for welcoming her. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we just didn't see that. That would have been good to see.
There goes the edit. Um, Honestly, there wasn't even really much because they're just so happy. They're sitting on top of each other, not literally, just they're sitting very close is what I'm trying to say. She says that they're happy, they have their dream home, and they're basically best friends. We get a clip of Jasmine and Bobby moving into their home for the first. I couldn't tell if it was that they just got an apartment or they bought a home. They just kept saying their home. So either way, they got a new place together, and then they show us a video of their first year together.
In the video, which we will get the same thing later for Benaya and Nicole, is just them having fun together. Apparently, he proposed again. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just a nice video. We see them enjoying life. Emma says, "Oh, you guys are having fun together," and then she decides to talk about, "Oh, Jasmine, in the pods, you warned us that you have a jealous side," and she's like, "Oh, it's fine." Like Bobby reassures me, and she knows that it's something she has to work on herself, and she does, and that they talk. Um, Matt asked about the firecracker side of Jasmine, and Bobby says he's seen all sides now. He didn't see all of them in the pod, but he's seen them now. And then they talk about her mom, and Jasmine's like, "Yeah, I wasn't sure before the wedding, but I knew I had to like follow my heart, even though there was a risk." And yeah, her mom wasn't really on board, but she just had to do what she thought was right. Bobby says that Marissa didn't know him. So, yes, there was extra pressure because he knew that she didn't care for him. But
Mhm.
eventually he got her approval, and that now Marissa approves 110%.
She sure did. She's like 110. Bobby had like a glow up. He was the best dressed man for me. I liked the color of his tangerine little, I don't know if it was a jacket, blazer, but he looked really good.
And then Bobby saves Emma from having to do the womb watching by just telling her, we're working on having kids. And I only say that because it did seem like Emma was channeling Vanessa Lachey a lot during this reunion, a little bit. But she was not doing any womb watching. So I shouldn't denigrate her like that.
Yeah, she chose the safest word, the most general. What's next for you guys?
Um, so anything more on Bobby and Jasmine?
No, not really. They're just happy.
They are just happy. Next up is Maria and Tom. So Emma and Matt talk a lot about the iconic lipstick moment where they first met and she got lipstick all over him. And then they're like, what's happened before the wedding? And Tom says the wedding day was emotional and they figured out that longer term it would be hard to make it work. Emma asks Maria if she agrees with Tom's explanation about the different values. And Maria was like, in regards to kids, it felt like an insult to my family. Her mom has raised kind, confident kids who treat people well. And it's about how you treat them, not the house they live in or the car that they drive. And basically, the
Isn't
way
that
Tom
also?
tried to explain their different values with the whole, I'm going to teach my daughter this, and I don't want my daughter doing that and my son doing that. Maria decided to extrapolate it to a whole insulting of her mom. It felt a bit like a reach to me.
It is a reach because in her way, I'm like, are you? She's also indirectly insulting his mom. She said we raise people who are kind, who don't judge people by their, the jobs or who they are, and we're that. But I'm also like, how did you get that from that? You just have different values.
I, th- she was trying to say that what he said was a dig at her mom because her mom
Uh,
raised her and she expects him to pay for things.
yeah, still a
Oh,
reach. Still a reach.
it was very much a reach. But Tom is here. Tom is in PR. Okay, so Tom is here to make sure that he just apologizes all over himself. So he's looked back and he's like, that was ugly behavior from him, and he's had time to reflect on it. Then they kind of like go in a different direction where Maria thanks Tom for showing a different version of strength because he was very emotionally open. And Tom says he was raised by his mom and he's had like no masculine influence. And that explains part of sort of how he like is emotional and open with his feelings. Um, and then Maria takes another opportunity to ding at him for for this difference in values because he said all these things after the very emotional meeting that he had with her mom before the wedding, uh, and that he had met her mom's kids after saying all these terrible, so-called terrible things, and his indirect insult. And Tom says that her family is incredible, and he wished he had treated their daughter and their sister better.
Accountability.
I, it's very rare that someone comes on reality TV and takes so much accountability that I'm like, I'm not even sure you did all that. Like,
Did you really?
I'm not sure all those apologies were really necessary, but if he felt the need to like do those apologies, who am I to disagree?
And it's just easier than going back forth, because either way, the person is offended. Your intent was not to, but somehow they are. Just, I'm sorry.
Yes, and also if you're just immediately sorry, like look at how Sabrina came to fight, and then Steven
Yeah.
was willing to fight her. But if you
Yeah.
say I'm sorry, it just takes all the energy away from the person who came here to fight you.
Yep. Nowhere
It
else to
shortens
go.
everything. Next up, we do a Tom and Tash retrospect. They basically just show the bar meetup and the different perspectives about what happened there. They Tash claims that it's good to watch the series and see like the way he connected with Maria and how different it was or better it was. They haven't really talked, but Tom reached out a week ago basically to be like, "Oh, we're good before we go on TV together again." But they show the mixer moment and basically I guess they agree that she meant love in past tense. He took it to mean present tense.
I'm just gonna say that Tash is so inconsequential that I don't care if she's lying or not. Like, I wasn't even bothered. Like, oh, you're lying. Oh no, you couldn't have said. She's just bland. I didn't care either way.
Yeah, I can't say unless they were gonna like drop a bomb on us that like Tom and Tash are together. I didn't really care either. Um,
And then it didn't help that again, what I call the UK reunion. Maria's just like, I love you, Tash. I love you, Tash, isn't it? So it's like, so what is the point, anyways? Like, everyone's happy, everyone's good. It's just unnecessary at this point.
I thought it was very funny when Tom said he didn't mean to create tension between Maria and Tash, and Maria's like, "Oh, there's no tension with Tash," and then Tom is like, "No, the tension is here," and he gestures between him and Maria. That was funny.
It was funny. I'm a Tom girly, so I do want to share though. I saw a reel that Tom did where he posted himself on like a playground playing by himself when your cast members are getting boohoo endorsements and all you've had so far is an indigestion tablets and stuff. And the comments are all like, "You mean no one gave you a lipstick deal? Like someone needs to sign you?" Oh man, fun
I would
times.
love for Maria and Tom to do an ad together. I know they're broken up, but I don't care. Just her having a lipstick, like this lipstick does not get all over your man. Like that would be the perfect ad for them.
It's also kind of crazy that none of them seem to be dating people. I was just thinking about this ad that you mentioned. I was like, hopefully they're single so they can do the ad. But then I realized that it doesn't seem like except for Ollie and whatever he's doing with Charlotte, it doesn't seem like people are dating people that they
Um,
mentioned. I should say that's true because we know Catherine is dating someone, but again, we don't know when this was filmed.
I somehow I feel very, I don't know, somewhat confident that it was filmed like in the past 2 months. I don't know where that confidence comes from. Probably because that's the
Okay.
standard Love is Blind timeline.
Okay, because then the narrative is shifted because if they are dating people, they just didn't ask or even bring up the fact that Kat is dating someone that was in the pod squad. That just seems like a huge hole.
Oh yes, it was. Oh, so you've okay. I see what you're saying. I think I see what you're saying. Like we know that Kat is dating someone from the pods, but it's not mentioned
Yeah,
in this reunion. So you're wondering, was she even dating that person when this reunion was filmed?
yeah. And if they were, because if it's recent and they are, like, why would you not just go there? But I did notice they didn't just even ask anyone, like, are you single? Are you dating? Which they usually do in the US version, but they didn't ask any of those questions.
I'm not gonna say I'm glad they didn't ask, but I really don't care. Like we're here to litigate this relationship. Um, yeah. So I'm not dying to know if they're dating someone or yeah.
I only wanted to know for one person, and that was Freddie.
So Tom and Maria have yet another discussion about finances, and Maria said that she never wanted him to finance her life. And yeah, Tom talks about working on himself to be a better person or something or other. And then
Sorry,
Maria,
I want to go back. When they did say, when Tom was talking, Maria did butt in and say, I want to get set something straight. I wasn't looking for him to finance my life and all that or to pay for all that. And she rambled on and on. And at the end, I was like, so what did you set straight? I'm still not set straight on anything. I still think what you wanted was for someone who would pay majority of the bills, but I don't know if it was just me. Like, was there anything that was said straight or said different? What did he say that was wrong or inaccurate?
I'm with you. There's not a lot of clarity on exactly what her expectations were. But through his time with her, Tom somehow got the perception that she did expect someone to finance her life. And if they could have done anything better at this reunion, I would have loved to understand how they both came to their positions.
I
Why does
mean, she
Tom
did,
believe that, Maria?
because she told us. She said, "I mean, my family. I want to know that the man is capable of taking care of the me." The financially was silent, but it was very loud. I wish they had asked about the ice cream.
I'll give Maria credit for being upfront from the beginning. It's not like they were doing 50-50, and then all of a sudden they got married and she's like, no, actually, this is not what I expected. She was always clear about what she expected, kind of.
Mhm.
Next up is Benaya and Nicole, who are clearly still together and still, to me, something awkward there, but clearly something
Yes.
long lasting.
Yes, yes, yes. Agreed, agreed, agreed. They're so awkward, but they're meant for each other.
And Benaya is, to me, so focused on Sam because he even starts with, like, oh, Nicole looks beautiful. And, like, her boring brown eyes look great, which is a reference to Sam. And I'm like, but why? Um, but they tell us that they're really good and they're really happy. The host asks if she can say her new last name. And she's like, yes, I can. Grunewald Bridie. But it's just Mrs. GB. So they also do like a package of their first year of marriage and they're like traveling Morocco and having Christmas. He has this weird joke of like surprising her. It doesn't seem like it's that hard to do and then videoing it. Um so yeah. Um Benaiah says that Nicole is consistent no matter what the situation. That's what he's learned in this first year of marriage. And then they decide to show us some unseen footage from the pod, which I was like, did you guys just need filler? And basically, we just see that Nicole and Benaiah were both really, really happy after their first dates. And they were happy, like, expressing it in different ways. So, like, Nicole is like dancing around the pod room, and Benaiah's in the hallway just being like, I'm shook. That was brilliant. So, it was kind of fun to watch, but I'm not sure why we got that for them and no one else.
I thought it was so cute. And I think we got it because, like, for me, my comment was they had such strong reactions after their first date, and she still chose Sam. Like, this is one of the greatest mysteries in life. Like, all of the reasons why she chose Sam would never ever make sense to me.
And so, but that goes into the next thing where Matt is like, to Benaiah, did you make a mistake by not making it clear to Nicole your level of commitment? And
Yeah,
Benaiah says, it was all my fault. It was too good. He regrets it. And if he had done that, maybe their journey could have been smoother.
yeah.
And Nicole tries to take some and be like, well, maybe I could have been more direct. And they're like, no, no, no. It's all Benaiah's fault. So they bring out Sam and they talk about, poor Matt. They were too nice to Sam for me. Matt is like, oh,
Hmm.
poor Sam, there's been a strong public reaction to you. Are you okay? Which is a good question to ask somebody when they're probably being brutalized online. But
Hmm.
still, he's not
He
being brutalized as an innocent man. He did do, he's, people are just reacting to his own behavior.
he brought it all upon himself. But it was still so cute how Benaiah was asking Nicole, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, honestly, Nicole has always been fine. We should be asking you if you're okay because Sam triggers a very strong reaction from Benaiah. Like, he just hates that man so much.
He really does. And on one hand, it's I'm starting to come around to an idea that it might be kind of cute that he has this kind of strong reaction. Um, but yeah, so Sam talks about has it been easy, but he's stronger. He's learned a lot about himself. He also admits that he wasn't quite ready for this experiment, which you know what, I will give him credit for that.
Mhm.
They asked Jasmine, like, well, you said that his intentions weren't quite right. Uh, what were you picking up? And she said, yeah, I just got the vibes and I just really believe strongly that there was something off about his intentions. Um they ask about his like comment in the living quarters or whatever about picking up Nicole and will I be able to pick her up? And he says he didn't mean any harm by it and he was nervous. Okay. Um, Nicole, does Nicole had a change of heart because now Nicole, she's like, oh, I see why Benaya like has his opinions, and she thanks Benaya for having her back and being a third eye and supporting her through everything.
No, I think watching it always has a different reaction because we have to remember that these people aren't privy to the conversations. It's all hearsay. But then when you watch it and you hear it from the horse's mouth, that's a whole different thing. So I think that's probably what happened with her.
Then Sam kind of gets like he has to account for saying I think I love you in the first meeting with Nicole. He says his words didn't come out right, and something about he thought he was falling in love. I'm not going to be mad at him for not saying I love you
Hmm.
upon your first in-person meeting with someone who you talked to through a wall. That is one thing that I will say. I don't think Sam deserves criticism for saying I think I love you.
Well, that's not part of the plan for Love is Blind. You're supposed to fall in love with eyes, stars in your eyes.
Some people do, but I guess Sam didn't. So Matt asks, "Okay, guys, who called it off?" I, I don't feel like the answer was very direct. Nicole says that she has doubts, but she spoke to Sam and said that she didn't want to go on the retreat and she didn't want to go forward. So I think she was saying that she pulled it off, but she didn't say that directly.
Yeah. It wasn't
So they
clear, honestly.
Yeah. So they asked Manaya what he thought when he heard that they had broken up or whatever, and he says he was over the moon. Like he was like, I felt like I'd been given a second chance, and I'm not gonna mess this up. I love that for him. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like he was like, oh, should I or shouldn't I? He's like, no, 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 I'm in. So then they talk about the London mixer and Matt asked Sam about what he said about Nicole trying to sleep with him and him rejecting her. And he does a lot, like, you can tell this was edited because he did a lot of talking without getting to the point. Oh, the conversation got heated. He was blindsided. He wished it didn't happen. Then finally, Demi is tired of listening to this and she's like, say I'm sorry to Nicole, please. And everybody was like, thank God that someone finally just told him to do it. And then he finally did it.
Demi saves the day again.
I would love to know for how many minutes Sam just sat there talking without saying, I'm sorry, Nicole. Because I think it was quite some time.
Yes, I agree.
So Nicole says it was hurtful and a lie. And Emma thanks him for coming. And then we are done with the Sam portion. We do like a little Benaya and Sam wrap up. What their future does not include trying for children. They're going to travel. They're going to go to Ghana. It looks like is their next trip, and their adventure and happiness is what they plan for their future.
My only thing as I watched Sam walk away was like, we're not going to ask Sam and Kat about their segment at the mixer?
Oh, that's true. That's true. They could have brought him out again too, since the next people up are Freddie and Sam. I mean, Freddie and Kat.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite Freddie's, hopes and dreams at the end of their wedding, lo and behold, Freddie and Kat are not together. They kind of ask, like, what once Kat found out about Freddie and the cheating, was that something that made her pull away from him? And she's like, no, that wasn't it. And Freddie was like, if anything, like, I appreciate her hearing about my past and still like being really kind. Then they asked Freddie why he gave her the earrings, and he's like, the earrings were like a no win situation. If I didn't give her the earrings, then it would have meant something, but I did give her the earrings. I don't, it was a gift, and I don't know. Kat said something like he's not the type of guy to give a gift like that, so it meant a lot. I don't know what it meant though.
That was very strange.
Um, they ask Betsy Dora, who's in the audience. I'm always happy to see Betsy Dora because her name is Betsy Dora. Um, she basically says when she watches the show, she can see the genuineness. She's cried every time that They're a beautiful couple, but she could also see that Freddie was reserved and something wasn't right. Freddie's like the transition from the pods to real life felt like a wall. Interesting because in the pods they have an actual wall. And so we do a flashback to the pods and we do the grandparents' names and all the other stuff. The grandparents' names are made to be the silliest thing in the world. Bill and Mary. But Freddie says he thinks they'll stay friends. They do seem pretty friendly. And Kat
Yeah.
says that Freddie taught her a lot and he'll make a girl happy. And that's it.
Yeah, it is. It was I wish they had done, this is just petty me. I wish they had done a montage of her being mean to him at different times and be like, well, what's up with that? But that would have been too much to ask for. But I mean, but that's what I mean. I feel like they got through everything, but they really didn't go through anything deep enough. But sometimes maybe that's okay, you know?
It's the question always is though, like, while we're looking for maybe better explanations or more honesty, I'm not even sure if they're not together. It's like, why are we dissecting this relationship that's over? You know?
Yeah, yeah, true that. But yeah, good for them. Good season. Oh, one more offline thing I saw. Again, I was trying to avoid spoilers, so I didn't go deep. But apparently, Steven brought his girlfriend, ex girlfriend, to the wedding, or she was present at the wedding.
What?
I have to go back and look for that, but I don't know if I'm accurate. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, I think I saw that, and I'm like, wow, Steven really fooled us.
But it definitely wasn't the girlfriend who was sick because we still don't know. We still don't know the end resolution of whatever happened to this girl.
This man said, I think she's still alive. All right.
Looking forward to more seasons of Love is Blind UK. Which they did officially announce that there will be a second season, and that's how they ended the reunion, was letting us know that it's official, there will be another season. So yeah. All right, guys. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at AltarCallMAFS. That's ALTARCALLMAFS. We would love to hear from you guys on social media.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.